Let me ask you something. What if the only thing standing between who you are right now and who you could become is pain? Would you lean into it or run from it? Because here's a truth that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. You are far more capable than you think. But most people never even scratch the surface of their true potential because they stop when things get uncomfortable. And if you stop watching now, you'll miss what might be the most brutally honest, life-changing insight you've ever heard about mental toughness. This is Can't Hurt Me, written by David Goggins, a man who transformed himself from a depressed, overweight exterminator into a Navy SEAL, ultra-endurance athlete, and what many call the toughest man alive. But this isn't a story about medals or heroism. It's a story about mastering your mind, about turning pain into power, and about realizing that most of your limitations are self-imposed. Think about this. Have you ever had a day when you wanted to start something, a workout, a side hustle, a goal, but your mind just told you, not today? Maybe you hit snooze. Maybe you skipped the gym. Maybe you told yourself you'll try again next week. We've all been there. That's the voice Goggins talks about. That inner dialogue that coddles you, that convinces you to play small, that whispers, you can't handle this. He calls it the inner bitch voice. Harsh, I know, but sometimes the truth has to slap you awake. The most dangerous thing? Most people listen to it every single day. Now here's where it gets powerful. Goggins introduces something called the 40% rule. He says that when you feel like you're absolutely done, you've only used 40% of your potential. That means you've got 60% left in the tank. Let that sink in. When your legs are shaking at the gym, when your brain is fried from studying, when your heart feels broken, you're only at 40%. That's not just motivational fluff. That's real. Think back to the last time you kept going when you didn't want to. Maybe it was pulling an all-nighter to study, finishing a shift when your feet were numb, running that last mile when your lungs were burning. You survived it, you grew from it, and yet you still hesitate the next time pain shows up. Why? Because your mind is like a safety mechanism. It wants to keep you comfortable, safe, predictable, but comfort is a slow death. And Goggins realized the only way to escape that prison was to suffer, on purpose. Now this is not some sadistic philosophy. This is about choosing voluntary discomfort to become mentally bulletproof. Goggins didn't start off superhuman. He was abused, bullied, overweight, and full of fear. He had every excuse to stay broken. But one day, standing in front of the mirror, covered in regret, he had a moment of brutal honesty. He asked himself, "Who are you really?" And that's when the accountability mirror was born. This wasn't about positive affirmations or "you're doing great" quotes. No, this was raw, unfiltered truth. He put sticky notes around the mirror with everything he needed to fix. You're fat. You're lazy. You're better than this. Harsh? Maybe, but effective. And ask yourself, when was the last time you were completely honest with yourself? Most people lie to themselves every day. I'll start Monday. I'm trying my best. It's not my fault. But deep down you know. That's the first step. Stop running from who you are. One relatable example? Think about someone trying to lose weight. They do fine for 3 days, then break their diet. What happens next? Guilt, excuses, restart. This cycle goes on for years. Not because they lack knowledge, but because they never confront the truth in the mirror. And Goggins? He didn't accept that. He declared war on that cycle. He taught himself discipline. One day at a time. One of the most powerful concepts in the book is the cookie jar. But it's not about sugar. This cookie jar is mental. Inside it, Goggins stores every victory, every painful memory he overcame, from finishing Navy SEAL Hell Week, to running 100-mile races, to pulling himself off the floor after failing again and again. When life punches you in the face, and it will, you go into that cookie jar. You remind yourself, I've done harder things. I didn't quit then. I won't quit now. Think about a real moment from your life. A tough exam you passed, a job you earned, a breakup you survived, a challenge you overcame when you didn't think you could. That's your cookie jar. Use it. And when life tests you, dig deep. That's where confidence is built. Not in winning, but in surviving what was meant to break you. Don't skip this next part. This is where Goggins drops one of the most transformational tools of all. Taking souls. What does that mean? Taking souls is when you keep pushing, when others expect you to fold. You smile when you should be broken. You keep going when the world thinks you're done. It's about flipping the script and showing people and your inner demons that you are built different. Goggins tells a story of when he was in Navy SEAL training. He was freezing, sleep-deprived, bleeding, and exhausted. But he smiled at the instructors. Why? Because he wanted to take their soul, to show them he couldn't be broken. Imagine doing that in your own life. You're working a double shift? Smile. You're heartbroken but still showing up? Smile. You're studying while others are partying? Smile. Because that's how you build the calloused mind. Just like your hands get tougher from hard work, your mind can too. Real-world example? A college student working part-time, staying up late to study, getting rejected from internships. Every day is a grind. But instead of complaining, they keep going, day after day, year after year. One day, they land their dream job. That's what a calloused mind looks like. And that's what this book teaches you. You don't need perfect conditions. You need relentless effort. You need to master your mind. If you stop now, you'll miss the deepest lesson of all. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents. Not your boss. Not your partner. Not some motivational video. You. It's all on you. The pain, the progress, the setbacks, the glory. It's all yours. And that's the most freeing truth of all. So ask yourself one last question. What are you willing to suffer for? Because success, fulfillment, greatness, they're not found in ease. They're earned in pain. You don't become unstoppable by avoiding discomfort. You become unstoppable by walking through fire and refusing to be burned. David Goggins didn't write, "Can't hurt me" to impress you. He wrote it to wake you up. To show you what's possible when you stop lying, stop quitting, and start living with discipline, intensity, and purpose. And if this message hit something inside you, if you felt that fire rise in your chest, don't let it fade. Like this video if it pushed you. Share it with someone who needs a wake-up call. Subscribe to the channel. We're building a tribe of people who want to grow, grind, and level up every day. And most importantly, click the link in the description to grab your own copy of Can't Hurt Me. Read it, reread it, let it break you, and then rebuild you. And finally, drop a comment. What's one thing you've been avoiding that you're going to face head-on starting today? Because you've got more than 40% left. Now it's time to use it.